Welcome. You know, God wants you to be strong, empowered, and do great things with your life. That angel told Gideon, "You're a mighty man of valor. Go in this your might, and you'll defeat the Midianites as one man." That's the problem, because we wonder that can we do it as one man? Gideon began to give all kinds of excuses. Now, today, let's talk about don't weaken yourself and stop weakening yourself. You have been doing so. Weakness is simply to deprive yourself of strength. When there is no strength, we call it weakness. So if you weaken yourself, you are draining your energy, you are taking yourself out of power zone. So I want to spend some time this morning to show you how not to weaken yourself and to stop weakening yourself if you have been doing so. Now, what does weakness do? It paralyzes our efforts and cut off our initiative, and accomplishment becomes something far off dream. So I want you to just learn how to empower yourself. But how? Not weakening yourself. Now, one of your greatest form of ability is your mouth. The Bible says death and life and the power of the tongue. Jesus said, by your mouth or by your words, be justified. By your words, you be condemned. You can be condemned to weakness by your words. You can be justified and strengthened by your word. Words encourage or discourage. You know that. Somebody can talk to you and encourage you, put strength into you. Somebody can talk to you and discourage you, and just watch energy draining away from yourself. Now, there are two ways you weaken yourself. That's what I want you to stop doing. I want to show you in the Bible. The very first one is that stop speaking from your anger. When you speak from your anger, it may look as if it's strength, but actually you are weakening yourself. Rather, channel your anger to productive things by not speaking from your anger. Paul said in chapter 5, book of Ephesians, that be angry, but don't sin. Or don't weaken yourself. Don't put yourself in a place where you cannot please God. Let's go to Mark chapter 3 and watch Jesus not speaking from his anger, so that power was made available to him. He was not speaking from weakness, because weakness is also where we cannot perform well. Let's go to Mark 3. Take a look. It says this, and he entered the synagogue again, and a man was there who had a withered hand. So they watched him closely, that's the Pharisees, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath, so that they might accuse him. And he said to the man who had the withered hand, step forward. He said to them, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill it? But he kept silent. Now look at verse 5. And when he had looked around at them with anger, being grieved by the hardness of the heart, he said to the man, stretch out your hand. He stretched out his hand, and his hand was restored as whole as the other. Then the Pharisees went out, immediately plotted with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. Now, can you see that Jesus was confronted with the hypocrisy of the Pharisees, and that made him angry. But there was a situation at hand. There was a man there that was with a withered, weak hand. Jesus wanted to bring power and potency to this man, so that that impotent hand can become strong again. And the anger could have limited Jesus. He refused to speak from the anger. He was silent about the anger. He was angry. He was grieved at the hardness of heart. But he did something fantastic. He spoke from power, not from the weakness of anger. He got silent about his anger, and he spoke directly to the man to get well, and he did. That's first. Stop speaking from your anger. Second, also learn not to speak from your fear. When you speak from your fear, you are weakening yourself. We're going to go to Mark chapter 4, verse 35. You will see how people can weaken themselves speaking from fear. Listen to this. It says, and on the same day when evening had come, he said to them, let us cross over to the other side. Now when they led the multitude, they took him along in the boat as he was. Other little boat were also with him. And a great windstorm arose rather, and the waves beat into the boat so that it was already filling. But he was in his storm, asleep on a pillow. And they awoke him, disciples, and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing? Then he arose, rebuked the wind, said to the sea, Peace be still, and the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. But he said to them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no strength? I remember a particular verse now in Isaiah 30, or 30, I'm not very sure, 30, 15 said, in quietness and in confidence shall your strength be. So in disturbance and in fear, it'll be your weakness. So don't speak from the point of weakness. Don't speak from the point of weakness. Speak from the point of strength. And fear is weakness. So these apostles spoke from their fear. Oh, they said, don't you care, we are perishing. We are going down the drain. We are going to be finished. Jesus was sleeping. When he woke up, he didn't speak from the fear. He spoke from the power zone. He said, peace, be still. And they were still fearful. Jesus taught these men how not to be afraid. That's when God comes on the scene, we say, fear not. So stop speaking from your anger and stop speaking from fear. That way, you will stop weakness in your life. So stop weakening yourself. Thank you for listening.